Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now today I want to talk about complaining. Why? Because I'm British and it's what we do. And we don't do it well. And this is part of the problem with so many other things. And so this is where today I want to talk about 5 ways to complain, or five things to take into account that make complaining effective and make it work and make it worth doing. Yeah? There's a way to complain that gets you where you want to go with the complaint, what you want to do with it, gets you some kind of result, and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily drain you of anything, and it gets you to where you want to go with the complaint made. Now, this is something that I kind of learned through doing customer service stuff, because quite frankly, customer complaints and how you complain and how you work with people and how you bring across your issue, that's very much the problem with a lot of people that come into store. When you're sat there and you're looking to try and help someone, and all they do is lie to you, all they do is get angry at you when you've had nothing to do with their situation so far. It's one of the reasons why I'm so glad I'm not in any kind of retail or kind of corporate environment anymore, because I'm just free of that for the most part. And I make sure that all of my clients are well aware of what working with me involves before we actually go into it. So if they do have a concern, if they do have a comeback, then it will be a constructive complaint or a constructive issue that we can work around, rather than just a verbal diarrhea of aggressive noises that does nothing. So the first thing that's important to making a complaint is you have to try and calm down, you have to think through what it is that you want to achieve with it. Now, I complain. I've complained in numerous videos about politics. I've complained about the state of various games and TV shows and things like that I at least tangentially care about. At the very least, I care about the fallout that these products and things, these happenings are going to have. And so when I'm making those videos, when I'm thinking through that stuff, I always think through, what do I want to achieve by making this video? If I don't have a clear goal for what I want to achieve by making this video, which is mostly based around a complaint, then I shouldn't make it. And in almost every single one of those situations that I complain about something, be it in a month in review, be it one of the standalone videos that I've done, be it the How to Ruin a Franchise for Guild Wars 2 set of videos that I'm still working on, with all of those, what's my goal? Well, in regards to, for example, the Guild Wars 2 ones, I love the franchise, and I feel like the game has decayed in various ways, and that the legacy of the previous games isn't being paid enough attention, and the current game, from a really good start that it had, has deteriorated substantially due to poor decisions and poor writing. In which case, what do I want to achieve? Well, I want to raise awareness around this, instead of the numerous people that usually buy into it and then go, oh, well, this is what I've got. And due to buying into it, there's investment bias there, and so on and so forth. And it causes further decay, further deterioration, due to the fact that people are just going to invest in what's in front of them. They're going to buy into what's in front of them without looking at it critically. And as something that I care about very much, and something that I've spent an awful lot of hours on, for instance, I want to see a greater awareness around the failings, so that the failings can be addressed. Because if you don't see the failings, if you don't see the obstacles and the weaknesses, then you can't do anything about fixing them. So my goal in regards to that, for instance, is awareness. My goal in regards to most of the things, in fact, that I make on this channel are awareness, because I want to bring those to people to open their eyes to things, to allow them to see more so that they can achieve their goals. Because as said, if there's a big obstacle in the way, if there's a wall in your way but you don't even realize it's there, then you have no hope of getting past it, unless you are just incredibly lucky. So I want to, when it comes to me making complaints, me saying things, for the most part, in regards to videos, for instance, as this example, I want to bring that forward and go, this is a thing that is here. Please be aware of it. Yeah? And I try and make sure that I break down my arguments, I do my research beforehand, and so on and so forth. And As a result, there you go. Same with someone coming in and talking to you in a store, an angry customer. They want to come in. Do they want to get their money back? Do they want a replacement item? Do they want to make a formal complaint of some description? If they haven't even thought that through to begin with, then they're going to end up floundering, and it's relying purely on rage just to fill in that gap, and that's where you don't achieve anything. So moving on to the second point, anger. I've said it before, love anger. It's an energy, it's a force, it's this burning fire inside you that will keep you keep you warm in the cold places, and keep you well lit and able to see in the dark ones. And it can be fantastic, but it has to be channeled, it has to be controlled. It is very much like fire. If you have a small hearth in your home, you are going to be kept warm, there is going to be light, you are going to be able to cook food, you are going to survive. If you have your house on fire, then you are not going to have a home, you are no longer going to be able to remain kind of cold, warm in the cold. You won't have light, you won't be able to cook food, and there's a good chance that you'll die in the fire as well. In which case, we can't allow anger to kind of, or frustration or hurt or irritation or whatever which way you want to pitch it this way in this instance. We need to make sure that we remove it from the message, because the message can be incredibly succinct, incredibly useful, incredibly poignant. It can potentially save us hardship, it can remedy an issue, it can remedy someone else's, whatever. But if there's anger like thrown all over it like petrol, and then you interacting with the person is like striking a match, then your entire argument goes up in flames. Your entire message, whatever it is that you're saying, whatever it is that you're complaining about, goes up in flames. And so we need to make sure that whilst we're making ourselves heard, that we're not shouting at people, that we're not being too sharp, that we're not overemphasizing and embellishing what we're talking about. We don't there's a place and a time for cursing. I do it enough, I swear enough, because the words were invented for a reason. But going over the top with it, especially when you're directing those at a person, isn't necessarily the best thing to do, as well as put downs and being kind of directly negative on someone that's stood right in front of you. Shouting at someone down the phone, shouting at a store clerk that stood right in front of you, a sales assistant or something, that's not going to do you any favors, because all of a sudden that person is entirely disincentivized to even consider helping you. You can voice your frustration, that's fine. The number of times that I've had a problem and I've ended up on the phone to someone, and I'll give them the full rundown, the full story, the saga of whatever it is that I'm touching on that I want to have dealt with, and they'll go, yep, okay, and I'll go, look, I realise it's not your fault, it's just really frustrating, I'm sorry if I sound angry, but this is the long and short of it, and I kind of need it resolved. They can appreciate being frustrated with something going wrong. Everyone gets upset when things go wrong. And so me just going, look, I'm not meaning to be angry at you, I'm just really pissed off at the situation, it's not great. And being open and friendly as best I can, instead of just shouting obscenities down the phone at them, that it's more likely to get me to somewhere where I'm actually going to see a satisfactory resolution, instead of being kind of left there to one side because no one wants to help me. The next thing is we tend to include more than one complaint at a time. And this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and it's all dreadful, and fuck the world, and I hate all of you. And it's like, that doesn't give anyone the chance to remedy each thing. Same with asking questions. A lot of the time, I will ask a question and then leave time for someone to answer, because unless there's an answer, I'm not going to be able to get anything. If they've not understood the question, I might rephrase, but it's one question at a time. You have to do the same for complaints. It has to be one complaint at a time. There has to be one thing, let the person deal with it, and then move on to the next thing. This is why, with my How to Run a Franchise lot that I described in that introductory video a while ago, that I'm still working on. With that, I have broken it down section by section, complaint by complaint, so that it's easy to digest, so that if there are any people watching, if there are people that agree with me, people that disagree with me, whatever, there are going to be people there to go through, look at what I'm talking about, and hopefully see remedies or see agreement, disagreement, discussion around those things to see what happens next, and hopefully achieve some kind of resolution for people like me, of which I know there are an awfully large number, who are sat there as a more quiet majority going, what the hell? Yeah? But again, I couldn't do that if I made one 3-hour video or something tackling every single topic of the main complaints, you know, and offering criticism and feedback and kind of suggestions and all of that stuff all in one go. No time to digest, no time to break it down, no time for anyone to really take a good look at that, whether they like what I'm saying or not. And so, as a result, I've broken it down into numerous videos, you know, and that's one of the reasons why it's taking so long, because there's a lot of back and forth between things to make sure that I've got it all set up. But anyway, enough about that. Number 4, we don't usually complain to the right person. We'll complain straight at whoever's in front of us that's come to deal with us. You know, we'll vent to we'll vent to our partner about our friends. We'll vent to our friends about our partner. We'll vent to the customer service person that stood right in front of us when they can't remedy our problem for us. We'll complain to whoever to deal with it. You know, this is one of the reasons why there are an awful lot of things that I could complain about. As said, I'm British, but the things that I complain about and the things that I put videos up about especially are the things that are either important to a lot of people, things that people have come to talk to me about anyway, and have sought my complaints to then better inform their own in various ways, or things that live in this online space, as with the YouTube videos that I've done previously, where it's a case of me going, right, well, I'm in this space, I'm in this environment, I'm in this atmosphere, this is the place to put this information, this is the place to put forward these things. And so as a result, you know, you need to make sure that you're either targeting the right person, you're not shouting at some individual that stood right in front of you, some customer service person, and getting angry at them. You need to talk to their manager, you need to talk directly to the company that they're representing, because potentially neither of those people will be able to do anything for you. You know, you shouldn't be addressing problems with your friends by venting to your partner. You should be turning around to your friends and addressing that with them directly. You shouldn't be dealing with your issues with your partner by addressing them with your friends. You should be talking to your partner. You know, there's a really straightforward kind of deal with the person that's actually the root of it, not just throw stuff out there. But there is a reason why we vent to the wrong people, and this is the last thing to consider, number 5, and that is that we tend to just complain to people because we think it'll make us feel better. And it won't. Getting the resolution will make us feel better. Seeing all of that spinning it around the other way, that makes us feel better. But and hearing the, oh wow, that sounds really bad, that's frustrating, yeah, no, that's a bummer, I really understand what you're saying, I've been through something similar and it was shit. You know, that validation is people seek that out because it makes them feel like they're right, like they're in the right, like they're actually in need of a resolution, and people agree that there is a resolution to be had there. But there's a problem. It also reinforces the idea of powerlessness, of victimization, of being the victim of everything. Yeah, you get tied into that way of thinking, and we've talked about professional victims before in various ways, and we've talked about people who use that to their advantage, and this is but it does have it takes a toll on your mental and emotional health. You know, you have to, you know, having some validation, turning around and going, do you know what, I had this thing with my phone bill and I feel like I should complain, and it's all of this is the problem, and someone turning around to you and going, do you know what, yeah, no, that sounds really shit, I've had something similar, and I went straight to them and they sorted it right out. That potentially allows you to then go, yeah, okay, no, I'm not just being crazy, there is a problem here and I need to deal with it. But going and talking, that's one individual who's given you some backup on a thing that you weren't sure about. It isn't telling everyone and their mother that something terrible has happened to you and you are having to complain and complain and complain, because firstly you're getting used to feeling shit about it, because whenever you're bringing it up you're feeling crap about it, you're seeking more validation and more and more and more just to try and feel better about what's going on, and as a result you're blowing the things out of proportion. You know, you're taking what might be a really easy resolution, a really small thing, and escalating it and escalating it and escalating it with every new person that you are talking to about it. You're venting and venting and venting, but all you're doing is creating a toxic atmosphere around you rather than actually cutting straight through it to the problem and preventing it from growing further. You know, it's choose it. The choice comes down to choose someone that's going to be specific with you about that topic, about that one complaint, and give you what you need to get moving forward on it. Be that either extra information, a little bit of support, just some ideas to bounce off, but limit yourself to who you complain to, so that way you don't start kind of blowing things out of proportion and escalating things further, because that way you're going to feel much more of an emotional release. You're going to be feeling much happier after doing that, instead of continually reinforcing the cycle of it's bad. I talk to a person, they agree it's bad, I need to tell more people it's bad, instead of actually solving the issue. You'll be more empowered by it because you'll actually achieve what you're looking to achieve. You know, and so, you know, as someone that's dealt with complaints and someone that you know, tries to create constructive arguments and complaints for things that are currently going on in various different areas and various different ways, you know, I hope this is useful to you guys, because one of the biggest issues that I have seen through the last couple of years is people have complaints, but they don't even really know what they're complaining about, and then they don't really know where things are going. Things like Brexit are huge examples of this, where you had lots of complaints and people thought that it was this big evil entity, the EU, that was doing it to them, and it turns out that an awful lot of those instances they were incorrect and it wasn't the EU, and yet now we're in this mess because the wrong complaints were made to the wrong people doing the wrong things at the wrong time. Anger and emotion flew and clouded the message for an awful lot of people, and there was an awful lot of venting and cycling of, oh, we're at a disadvantage, we're feeling worse, we need to do this, we need to do that, but never actually taking action, never actually looking for stronger leadership to make those things a thing, and so on and so forth. And so, you know, we can see how detrimental and how far-reaching these kind of poorly made complaints can be. And so making more kind of focused complaints with these 5 things in mind help us to achieve more. But yeah, otherwise, guys, is there anything else, especially for you guys that have worked in retail and dealt with shitty customers? You know, let us know your experiences in regards to this, because I can almost guarantee that every single one of you has hundreds. And so, you know, sharing those, I'm sure, would be a cathartic experience, considering the you know, this is the way, this is one of the main kind of sets of things to take into account when it comes to putting yourself forward and making a complaint for the best effect. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you found this at all interesting or useful, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.